So much better.
Yeah, middle of the week series, you got to take care of business. Continue that same momentum that you had on the road into this game.
So for North Carolina A&T, they're not scared to play the big dogs. They have some big wins already this year, X.
Yeah, they did. And this is a team that's got to continue to play good baseball, right? You know your record isn't where it's at or where you want it to be, but you got to continue developing young players and getting better.
Now, in Columbia, South Carolina, they love the home cooking. 18-9 at home versus 2-10 on the road.
Yeah, it's a team that's playing really good baseball at home. The road splits are exactly where they're going to have to attack a little bit more throughout the course of the season. But you look at the batting average and the runs that they're scoring on at home, that's impressive.
Starting pitcher tonight for the Gamecocks will be Eli Jones, making his 5th start of the season.
Yeah, and Eli Jones, it's going to be important for him to pound the strike zone. You always want to establish strike one. This is a guy that's returning from Tommy John surgery, so continuing to get better every single start is going to be important for him. And then also he features the fastball, the slider, and the changeup, but really important for him to just get strike one and make sure he's throwing strikes.
Let's take a look at the lineup he will face. North Carolina A&T, Cameron Brantley in left leads things off. And we're going to highlight Anthony Hennings, the shortstop in the 2-hole.
Yeah, Hennings is a guy I want you to keep your eye on because this is a guy that takes really good at-bats, a really good balance in his legs, and gets deep into counts. He makes pitchers work and knows how to use the whole field. Does a nice job with the stick.
It is perfect baseball weather, 89 and sunny. First pitch on the way off the plate from Eli Jones. Now, Eli Jones will be on a pitch count tonight. He threw 43 pitches in his last start. We were told by the coaching staff he would go 50 pitches max tonight. He misses his first 2 pitches out of the zone to Cameron Brantley, the left fielder. Jones had Tommy John surgery in high school, so he missed this first half of the season for South Carolina. And finally gets his first pitch in there for a strike. 2-1 the count on Brantley. Brantley, the junior out of Charlotte, North Carolina, looking to lead things off for North Carolina A&T. Rips one, grounds into the right side, and there's our first hit of the ball game. X, we talked about the attitude for North Carolina A&T. They are not scared of anybody, but a big pitcher on the mound, Eli Jones. Here's his pitches per outing, his most 43 in his last appearance.
Yeah, and it's going to be important for him, knowing that he's going to be around that 50-pitch count mark. It's going to be important for him to be effective early, right? Try to get the weak contact as early as possible. Don't worry about so much about swing and miss. Get the ground balls, let your defense go to work.
All right, here's the best hitter on the team for North Carolina A&T, Anthony Hennings, the shortstop. Big swing and a miss on a 91-mile-per-hour fastball. Hennings leads this team in batting average just under 350. Jones is set, the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball misses down low. So tough when you're on a pitch count because you know you got to be effective with your pitches, but if you don't have the feel of all your pitches, especially you can see the breaking ball still trying to get the feel, it can be a tough first inning. 1-1 the count on Hennings. Check on the runner at first.
Yeah, John, and that was the one thing that Coach Kingston talked to us about is, you know, having Eli really establish that off speed and be able to throw it down in the zone for strikes. You know, make sure it has conviction.
Well, he's coming right after Hennings. He's ahead in the count, 1-2 now. Eli Jones, the highly touted freshman, a lot of expectations. Really, I mean, he's just one of the many guys who have been injured for South Carolina. A lot of injuries early on to the pitching staff of the Gamecocks this first half of the year. Arms are starting to get healthy, and that's why South Carolina is playing their best baseball right now. Here's the 1-2. Misses low. Runner goes. Throw down to second. Not in time. Cameron Brantley steals second base.
And Brantley gets an amazing jump here. This is one player that does a great job using his legs. Really impressive speed. Whenever he gets on base early in a game, you have to keep your eye on him. You see the jump there. Does a nice job of getting there into the bag. No chance right there for Burgess. but a really nice job of getting a great jump.
5th stolen base for Brantley. 1-2 pitch. There's the breaking ball snapped off by Eli Jones. Picks up his first strikeout of the game.
And that's that off speed with conviction that we're talking about. You can throw strikes with it, but if you're not getting the swing and miss or you're not getting the late break on it like we just saw, this is a pitch that starts up in the zone and then dives straight down. Great vertical movement at the last second. That's what you're looking for when you talk conviction.
Xavier Bussey swings at the first pitch, grounds it to the right side. Madden backhands, throws the first, not in time. Runner's coming around third, and he's throw at the plate. Got him! Brantley is gunned out at the plate, trying to come home. 2 down here in the top of the first.
Well, it was a great effort by Madden, making sure he goes over and gets to this ball in the hole. Tough play, for Eli to make sure he knows where he's at to cover the bag, but also an errant throw. But nice job with the wherewithal of Eli Jones to make sure he goes, gets that ball quickly, gets rid of it, and gives Burgess a chance to tag out Brantley.
Now, you love the aggressiveness, but if you're North Carolina A&T, are you sending the runner there on that play?
Yeah, that's a situation there where I'm not going to send him. I understand I can still have a great chance of scoring a run. Less than 2 outs, runner on third. Somebody puts the ball in play, drives something to the outfield, especially with Brantley's speed. But I don't mind NC-A&T taking a chance there. You want to be aggressive, but maybe not the best situation right there.
So the umpires are going to review this play at the plate. X, let's take another look at it. What do you think? You think the out call stands?
It might be one of those ones where they don't have enough to really overturn it. But I want to get another look at this one.
Great job by Burgess applying the tag at home plate. I mean, obviously the ball beat the runner, but it's where did the tag get applied? Let's take a look here. Tough to tell, right?
Yeah, it was really a nice job of athleticism of Eli Jones, like getting to that ball as soon as possible and getting rid of it, throwing a perfect strike to Burgess. And like you said, the swipe tag is right there.
Home plate umpire Jeremy Crow, first base John Puma, second base Joe Marion and Tyler Simpson at third. We are waiting from the call from this crew. Here we go. Here's their decision. And the call is going to stand. So out at home, 2 down here in this top of the first with a runner on. So that's going to go as an E3 on Madden, but Eli Jones was there and alert to get the runner coming home. So a 2 down runner on at first. That'll bring up the DH, Brett Mersman. Jones working out of the stretch. His 10th. Nope. We'll check on the runner first.
Going back to that play with Madden there in the hole, you know, he's not used to being that far away from first base and having to make a throw there. So that's always going to be a tough play for the first baseman. But again, nice job of Jones being quick to react and get that ball back home.
Mersman, the DH, he's kind of broken out offensively for this North Carolina A&T squad. So when we talked to head coach Ben Hall, he said he has earned the opportunity to get more playing time, and here he is batting cleanup, batting .308 on the season. 0-1 pitch. Fastball is in there. Eli Jones has had really good command of his fastball here early on. On a pitch count tonight, Eli Jones will go 50 pitches max. So he's got to be efficient and see what he can do with this 0-2 pitch to Mersman. Delivery to the plate. Mersman sends it the other way in left field. Belk is there, makes the catch. So South Carolina avoids damage. No runs across. Gamecock bats coming up after the break.
We're constantly changing to keep everyone safe. Buses and trains have improved air filtration, and all buses are now equipped with mobile pay, so you can avoid touching surfaces. Safety doesn't mean just that you arrive safely. It means riders arrive on time and we stay on schedule. I do this for my community. I'm Tracy Patton, and I'm a Metro bus operator. I'm doing my part to keep the DC area moving.
SEC Baseball is brought to you by T-Mobile. More 5G bars in more places.
Welcome back to Columbia, South Carolina. South Carolina bats are coming up for the first time and move to the bottom of the first inning. John Schrift alongside my partner, Xavier Scruggs. Let's take a look at the Gamecocks batting order, and we're going to highlight the leadoff hitter, Brant Belk.
Yeah, Brant Belk does an amazing job of using all of his tools, has a really sweet swing, but I love his ability to bring speed and power into his game. Does a nice job stealing bases, but then also drives the baseball with the best of them.
On the mound for North Carolina A&T will be Jackson Hull. The freshman, 0-1 with an ERA under 9 this year.
Yeah, Jackson Hull, be important for him as you see the strikeout to walk numbers 4 to 10, 4 to 12. Limit the walks, limit the freebies, just make sure you're throwing strikes. Give your defense a chance to work and allow yourself to get ground balls and weak contact early.
When we spoke to North Carolina A&T head coach Ben Hall this morning, we asked about who's going to be your starting pitcher. He had no clue. I mean, literally no clue who was going to start this game tonight. He said, this is one of these games we're going to have to piece together our staff to try to save our arms for the weekend. And he decided to go with Jackson Hull. Did not tell us much about him, but we can tell he has a lot of walks on the year. Let's see how his accuracy is in this first inning. Going up against Brant Belk, the left fielder. First pitch. Fastball up and away, ball 1. I haven't had too many reactions like that talking to head coaches the morning of the game asking about a starting pitcher. But he legitimately looked like he wasn't sure he was going to run out there tonight.
Yeah, I think it was definitely a situation where he was trying to figure out, okay, who was going to be the best guy for this opportunity. And maybe it took to the very last second to find out who that was going to be.
Belk batting .342 on the season. Big hack fouls that one off, 1-2. You know, we talked to Mark Kingston, head coach for South Carolina. He said, we are not taking this North Carolina A&T team for granted. He goes, their record does not indicate how good this team is. 1-2 pitch. Jackson Hull starts off the game with a strikeout.
Yeah, and that's not insignificant because Brant, we know how Belk has been swinging the bat, and for a pitcher to really attack the zone early, that's going to set the tone for him and the team for the rest of this inning.
So that'll bring up the first baseman, Kevin Madden. He's the transfer from Virginia Tech. Not a high strikeout guy, so that's why he's up in the top of the order, and he's really been everything that they had hoped for since coming over. And X, really transfers have been such a big part of the game we have seen in college baseball all year. I mean, teams have been able to really reorganize and reshape what they look like through the transfer portal.
Yeah, and I think it gives guys a good opportunity to understand where am I going to go that's going to give me an opportunity to hopefully play and play at a consistent on a daily basis, right? You want to see guys get those opportunities, and that's what happens a lot of times through that transfer portal.
1-1 pitch to Madden. Off speed misses low and away. 2 balls and a strike. Madden had been playing third base. He hurt his arm. That's why he's at first base now. They need him in the lineup. Big swing. Rips that one left field, or right at the left fielder, Brantley. 2 down.
And a pretty good swing there, but just gets a little bit under that pitch right there. Nice job of Hull getting 2 quick outs.
Dangerous bat coming up to the plate for South Carolina, Josiah Seitler. Now, he's the DH. He's been battling a high ankle sprain, but even with that being nicked up, he's tied for the team lead with 8 home runs on the year. If you're Jackson Hull on the mound getting your second start of the year, I mean, there is no let-up in this lineup. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Just a little low and away. Jeremy Crow, our home plate umpire, with a tight zone tonight. All right, 3-0 on Josiah Seitler. He's got 8 home runs on the year. You give him the green light here?
Yeah, I do. He's second on the team in slugging percentage, .521 slug. He's somebody I know does a good job of driving the baseball. Anytime you can get a 3-0 cookie down the middle, I let him swing it.
Oh, he was swung through that fastball, 3-1.
Nice job of Hull keeping that pitch down in the zone. Want to make sure you stay away from staying up.
Just underneath, popped up left side. That one gets out of play. So this season, Seitler, I mean, usually it's the opposite, right? Usually you rake in non-conference, and then against SEC pitching, it slows down a little bit. But he has really picked it up in conference play. Here's the payoff pitch. We'll do it again.
And John, that's a part of the process of, if you start off a little bit slow, you want to make sure you're still building momentum going into SEC play. You want to make sure you're building that and not worried about, okay, how I started. No, I want to stay focused on continuing to get better every day, and he's done a nice job of that.
3-2 pitch, off speed, ripped down the right field line, going back at the wall, and he's out of here. Josiah Seitler just mauls that 3-2 pitch as South Carolina takes a 1-0 lead here in the first.
Well, one thing Seitler did a nice job of fouling off a couple of pitches and letting the ball travel, then finally got a pitch that was a little bit more up in the zone, more of a sweet spot. We know lefties like that ball right there. He was able to put the barrel on it, and man, that ball was absolutely crushed.
I mean, that thing left the ballpark over the bus parked on the street. Josiah Seitler, his 9th home run on the lead, rocking the Davy Crockett hat. Here's Andrew Eister, the right fielder, on Friday with a career-high 6 RBIs, including a 2-run home run against Alabama. Eister ahead in the count, 2-0 now. Jackson Hull's got an interesting delivery on the mound. He kind of looks like he's working out of the stretch, but then he takes a little rocker step with that left foot. Not much movement as he comes to the plate. As a hitter, do you notice anything about a pitcher's delivery on the mound? What are you looking for?
Yeah, not so much looking for the delivery, but more of the arm slot, right? He can do whatever he wants with the delivery, but as long as I can pick up where that ball's coming out of arm slot wise and I'm on time, then I'm good with that.
I notice as Hull comes to the plate, he kind of hides the ball until the very last second. He really tucks that right arm behind his left shoulder and then comes to the plate.
Yeah, and those are the types of guys that can be extremely deceptive. They may not be some of the harder throwers, but if they're able to hide the ball well and I'm not able to see it until the last second, or I pick it up a little bit late, that can mess with the hitter's timing. And that's one of those ones where you might call it an invisible, because he might not be throwing that hard, but for some reason you can't pick it up as a hitter.
3-2 count on Andrew Eister. You see some of these swings, and Hull, He's not lighting up the radar gun with the fastball, throwing about 87, 88, but a lot of these swings are defensive swings against him right now. Seventh pitch of the at-bat. Jammed him, put in play down the left side. Roan fields, but no, it's going to be foul. The Gamecock bats already making Jackson Hole throw a lot of pitches here in this first inning. This is a game North Carolina A&T said they're going to go over to their bullpen early and often to piece together this game. Here's the eighth pitch of the at-bat. That one is hammered down the left field line, and that one is fair all the way into the corner. Eister will round first, coming into second, and he'll be in there with a 2-out double.
Well, a great swing by Eister, staying on the fastball. And I think the one issue that we might see here is Hull has yet to really mix up his pitches. Yes, it's great to establish the fastball, but now you have South Carolina hitters that know how to hit the fastball extremely well. And if you don't start showing them something else, even in a 3-2 count, they're going to jump all over that.
So with 2 outs, South Carolina's got a runner in scoring position as Hull steps off the mound. Second baseman Braylon Wimmer, the junior, will step in. He'll try to get an RBI here with 2 outs. Wimmer back up the middle. That one gets through the box. Eister comes around to score. He'll get in standing up, and Braylon Wimmer delivers with an RBI single with 2 outs as South Carolina takes a 2-0 lead here in the first.
Well, we know Wimmer likes to swing the bat. He's only got 7 walks on the season and 172 at-bats, but does a nice job of really staying up the middle, staying in the middle of the field. That's what you're looking to do with runners in scoring position. Hits the ball hard enough to where it squeaks past and is able to just get past Seaton over there at second base.
So South Carolina with 3 hits in a row now. Josiah Seitler got it started with the solo home run, Eister with the double, and then Wimmer drove in Eister with an RBI single. So North Carolina A&T will have a conference on the mound to talk to Jackson Hole, trying to get out of this first inning with 2 outs.
Yeah, and again, Hull's done a nice job of at least attacking the strike zone, right? He hasn't walked anybody, but if you've noticed, his fastballs are more up in the zone. He needs to be able to locate a little bit lower in the zone, try to get more of that weak contact by mixing in some different pitches and trying to get these guys off balance. If you notice, the hitters are taking great swings. The hitters of South Carolina are taking great swings because you could almost predict as to what's coming, and they're all balanced swings.
This will be the 25th pitch of the inning for Jackson Hole on the mound for North Carolina A&T. And he'll have to deal with the freshman Michael Braswell, the shortstop. He just tore up competition in non-conference play. Runner goes, throw down a second. Not in time. So Braylon Wimmer steals second. For Wimmer, that's his 10th stolen base of the season.
Yeah, and Wimmer's a guy that's not afraid to go. Great jump there. Does a nice job of getting himself in scoring position. The tag wasn't really applied. Maybe just a tough position there at second base that Seaton was in.
For Braswell, started the season off hot. Then he got into SEC play, and then he started hitting around 200. And when we talked to Coach Mark Kingston about Braswell's play, he said, that's kind of what freshmen go through. They haven't really struggled in their career because they can tear up high school play, and then you get into SEC play and you see the best pitchers in the country. There's Braswell delivering with 2 outs, singles to left. They're waving the runner home. Here comes Wimmer to the plate, and South Carolina scores another RBI single for Michael Braswell as South Carolina takes a 3-0 lead.
An extremely nice job of Braswell by staying back on this slider. Hull tries to mix in some off speed here, but just places it over the fat part of the zone. Braswell does a nice job of staying back on this baseball, staying balanced. That path perfect through the zone, does a nice job of hitting that line drive and then affording his team another run on the board.
Talmadge LaCroix steps up. How big are these midweek games, especially for guys like Michael Braswell, who you're struggling a little bit in conference play and need to get your confidence back up in this non-conference action?
Yeah, extremely big. You look at any way to kind of build that confidence back up, get back to taking good at-bats, and hopefully those feed into regular conference play. And it's also another time to make adjustments, right? As a young freshman, as a young player, you're always trying to find ways to make adjustments and challenge yourself. And these are the types of games in which you get better.
Fastball catches the corner, 2-1 the count on LaCroix. South Carolina has put together 4 hits in a row. Home run by Seitler, double by Eister, RBI single by Wimmer, and then the RBI single by Braswell. All done with 2 outs. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Fastball just in on the hands, fouls it back. So Hull on the mound, he's been effective. He's been throwing strikes, and he's been getting to 2-strike counts. He just hasn't been able to put away the hitters for South Carolina. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count on LaCroix. Here's the pitch.
John, that's just too good of a 2-strike pitch there for me. He's a fastball that's belt high in the middle of the zone. I want to see Hull work more towards the corners. He got the first strike on the outside corner, perfectly placed ball. I would like to see him work more on the outer half of the plate.
Braswell, the runner on at first, 2 outs, 2-2 count. Fastball up high, count goes full again. These Gamecocks hitters, they have been really patient here in this first inning. They've been spoiling off some tough pitches at another full count. This is the 3rd full count we've seen so far in this first inning. And he lost him. LaCroix will get on with a walk, so runners on at first and second, 2 outs. That'll bring up the catcher, Colin Burgess.
Yeah, just another solid AB by Gamecocks, really coming in here with a solid approach, at least in the first inning, working good counts with 2 strikes, getting pitches over the middle of the plate. They're making Hull pay.
So Colin Burgess, one of the best defensive catchers you'll see in the SEC, trying to get it done with the bat, popped up, shallow center field, Ash coming on. And there's the 3rd out. But South Carolina, with 4 hits, they pick up 3 runs here in this first inning. The big one was Josiah Seitler. We move to the top of the second. South Carolina with a 3-0 lead over North Carolina A&T in this non-conference midweek matchup. John Schriffen again alongside my partner, Xavier Scruggs. And Ben Hall, he is really proud of it, the way his team responded this past weekend against Pitt. Game 1, he said they got embarrassed. They really couldn't do anything against the starting pitcher. They didn't put up a single run. They won Game 2 against Pitt. And then in Game 3, in the doubleheader on Saturday, they lost 13-9 in 10 innings. But look at how many runs they put up after getting blanked in that first game.
Yeah, they definitely made an adjustment. Coach Ben Hall mentioned, really feeling embarrassed after that first game. You have your guys go back to work, and they say, we're not going to take that. We're going to at least go out here and compete and show what we're capable of doing. It was a nice job of them finishing out the weekend by being offensive at least.
So Eli Jones back out for his 2nd inning of work on the mound for South Carolina. Face off against 5, 6, 7 in the lineup for the Aggies. Chet Sykes leads things off. This is the 5th start of the season for Eli Jones, coming off of Tommy John surgery, so he's on a pitch count. 0-1 pitch, misses down low. 2-1 the count on Sykes. How would you assess the way Eli Jones is throwing so far today?
Yeah, he's done a nice job of being efficient, understands being under a pitch count. He's got to be efficient.
Oh, hot shot. LaCroix picks it smoothly, throws over in time. How about it?
And those are the types of plays that you're looking for, especially when you're on a pitch count. LaCroix doing a nice job of staying down on the baseball, and that might have surprised him, but he was able to get some good leather on it and make sure he secured it. We get another look at it. That was a one hop straight at him. Does a nice job of securing it, and perfect throw over to first base.
Man, that was sweet. Brings up the catcher, Kenyon Brown. First pitch is in there for strike one. For Brown, he is the Big South Freshman of the Week for the second week in a row. In the last 4 games, he's got 3 home runs, so this guy's got some pop. Grounder, Nubber back to short. Braswell fields and throws it away. Can't pick it at first is Madden. So Brown will reach on the E6 from Braswell at short.
Yeah, if we get another look at this, Braswell fields it cleanly, but it looks like he just kind of short arms it over to first base with not enough velocity over there. Makes it tough on Madden, but that's just got to be a play that's made.
Well, as a reminder, Madden is not the everyday first baseman. He's been moved over to first base from third because he hurt his arm. So he's still making the adjustment at first, and there's a wild pitch as Brown will scoot down to second.
And John, you just don't want to start beating yourself up, right? That one error happens and then you see the wild pitch. You want to make sure you get back to being focused, get back in the count. You don't want to give NCA&T any opportunities to capitalize off of freebies.
Here's the center fielder, TJ Ash, the 1-0 pitch. Misses high, 2 balls, no strikes. I mean, if you're the Aggies, you love being in a beautiful ballpark, Founders Park, playing against a Power 5 squad in South Carolina on national TV. 2-0 pitch. Late on the fastball, 90 miles per hour from Eli Jones. Beautiful setting here in Columbia, South Carolina. I love the shot in center field. You got a downtown look at Columbia, South Carolina in the backdrop. Fastball humming it in there. 90 again. Counts even at 2-2.
Yeah, some of these college players don't know how nice they have it, at least with some of these fields and some of the backdrops that you mentioned, just the atmosphere. It's a really special place to play baseball.
Jones set. Working out of the stretch, peeks at the runner, comes to the plate. Breaking ball, staying on it. Back up the middle. Backhand by Wimmer. Throw over in time. 2 down. So Brown, the runner from second, will advance to third, but a nice play at second base by Wimmer.
And Wimmer makes this play look a lot easier than it is. Does a nice job of ranging up the middle, being able to keep his feet and make a perfect throw over to first base on the run. That's not an easy play right there. You got to credit Wimmer for being athletic enough to get to that ball first and foremost and throw a seed over to first.
Here's the 8-hole hitter, Alex Seaton. First pitch is in there for a strike. You know, just finishing up on the field. Before the game, as I'm watching the grounds crew here at Founders Park, they had somebody out on the mound scrubbing down the rubber and making sure it was as white as possible. I mean, this is just one of the premier fields in the country. That's a fair ball back to the pitcher. Jones will toss over to first to get out of the jam. So North Carolina A&T strands a runner at third. South Carolina holds on to a 3-0 lead. Let's go to the bottom of the second.
constantly changing to keep everyone safe. Buses and trains have improved air filtration, and all buses are now equipped with mobile pay, so you can avoid touching surfaces. Safety doesn't mean just that you arrive safely. It means riders arrive on time and we stay on schedule. I do this for my community. I'm Tracy Patton, and I'm a Metro bus operator. I'm doing my part to keep the DC area moving.
Saturday, we've got a great doubleheader for you for baseball. Cap off your day. 19th ranked Auburn hosts number 4 Arkansas. The second game of their big 3-game series. That is followed up by a game that I will be calling, LSU taking on Alabama, right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Take a look at the SEC in the top 25. Tennessee, my goodness, the kind of season they are having is just historical. Putting up just so many runs, so many home runs. Arkansas not far behind them at number 4 in the country.
Yeah, when you look at Tennessee and just think about all aspects of their game, you mentioned the offense, but I even think of the pitching, the starting pitching as well as relief pitching. You got guys throwing 105 miles an hour. Like, come on now.
Did you ever face 105 miles an hour in your time at UNLV or in the big leagues?
Definitely not at UNLV in college, but I did face Aroldis Chapman before, and he was throwing some cheese, probably around 102, 103.
That's nuts. We got a new pitcher for North Carolina A&T. Trey Fields will make his 13th appearance. We said it in the open. The Aggies are going to try to piece this game together with their bullpen. So Jackson Hall pitched the first inning for the Aggies, and Trey Field will come out to pitch the second. They'll face bottom of the lineup for South Carolina, the center fielder, Evan Stone. Field comes in kind of that 3/4 sidearm delivery, just kind of slings it in there. So you got a guy slinging it like Field, 3/4 sidearm. How do you pick up the ball to the plate?
Yeah, that's going to be one of those ones that a lot of times it might start behind you, and you have to make sure you see it a little bit later come over the plate. A lot of times those guys have good sinkers and good sliders, so you have to pick one side of the plate. Am I going to look on the inner half of the plate, or am I going to look on the outer half of the plate and maybe attack a fastball in the outer half, or am I looking for that hanging slider that stays in the middle of the zone? You got to be able to pick one side.
Setting up on the outside, fastball by Evan Stone as Trey Field picks up his strikeout of the day. We talked about it. Ben Joyce for Tennessee. This was this past weekend series, 105 miles per hour. I mean, that is just sick. Sunday versus Auburn, 3 pitches at 105 or better. 15 at 104. Unreal.
I mean, you just think about how much time as a hitter that you have to react already when guys are throwing 90 to 95. You add another 10 miles an hour on that. You're talking about a blink of an eye. Like, I got to get ready to hit. And not only hit, I got to be able to drive this baseball. That's tough to do.
Brant Belk takes that pitch outside. 1 ball, 1 strike to count on the leadoff hitter for South Carolina. All right, so you've faced off against Aroldis Chapman. What was that like?
It was unreal. I mean, you're talking about somebody that not only has hard stuff, but if it's a taller pitcher, it often feels like the ball is released right on top of you. And I think that's one of the things when you think about velocity, high velocity, is you don't have much time to react. So what can you do to be as quick as possible? But also, you got to be focused on your approach. You got to make sure you get the right pitch to hit. Otherwise, you're going to be swinging at anything that comes out of hand because it's going to look good and it's going to look like a strike.
3 balls and a strike to count on the left fielder, Brant Belk. And he's got himself a walk. You know, speaking of pitchers for South Carolina, they're starting to get healthy at the right time. Their starting pitcher, Eli Jones, is starting to get his pitch count up. And this South Carolina team, it just seems like they're starting to peak at the right time of year. And if they really get healthy, this Gamecock squad, they could be really dangerous.
Yeah, well, Coach Kingston talked to us about how many freshmen that they've had to rely on, that really have developed at a rapid pace. But thinking about all the injuries that they've had and really having to rely on young players, that's ultimately made them better. And now you get some of those veterans back. You get some of those guys with more experience that are playing well. Who knows how far this team can run?
Kevin Madden steps in, flew out his first time up at the plate. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Runner goes, swung through, throw down to second in plenty of time. Canyon Brown with the gun behind the plate.
I mean, you talk about a quick transfer and throw. Not only a strong arm, but the way the feet move as quick as they do. Get another look at this. This is a rapid pivot and throw. One of the better ones I've seen at the collegiate level. That's a nice job there because Belk is definitely not slow.
Big swing and a miss. Trey Field gets his second strikeout of this inning. And the South Carolina bats go down quietly here in the second. Gamecocks with a 3-0 lead after 2. We move to the top of the third inning here in Columbia, South Carolina. John Schriffen alongside my partner Xavier Scruggs. The Gamecocks with a 3-0 lead. Eli Jones has pitched 2 nice innings so far. He's halfway through his pitch count of 50. He's only given up 1 hit so far, X.
Yeah, it's been impressive seeing the way he's attacked the zone. But not only that, he's done a nice job of using both sides of the plate and up and down. And once you establish that early in a game, you can really feed off of, your arsenal can feed off of that. And you can continue to move the ball around and do what you want in specific counts.
Bottom of the lineup, this is Saban Roan. He takes that in there for a strike. 0-2 the count. Coach Kingston told us every week they're stretching the length of Eli Jones an extra 5 pitches. Started off with 22 in his last start, and then went to 43. Now he's up to 50. They hope to give him 3 innings of work today. 0-2 pitch just off the edge, 1-2.
And I'm okay with that pitch right there, John, because 0-2, you want to try to see how far you can expand. And he did a nice job there, not throwing a pitch in the middle of the zone in which these Aggie hitters can take advantage of.
In on the hands, Nubber to second base, caught in the air by Wimmer, 1 down.
And that's a nice job there by Jones. You show outside, and then you can go back inside with a little bit of the harder stuff. That might have been a slider there, but still, if you're able to show outside with some softer stuff and then go back in, you're going to get guys taking off balance swings and get jammed up.
Now, Coach Kingston told us in a perfect world, Eli Jones goes 3 innings. If he can have an efficient 3rd inning here, we could see him into the 4th. Top of the lineup for the Aggies. Here's Cameron Brantley with the only hit of the day. Brantley's got some pop, 5 home runs on the year. Fastball a little low, 2-0. It's encouraging, though, if you're watching Eli Jones, seeing him repeatedly hit 90 miles per hour on the radar gun. Really getting that arm strength back. Well hit. Center field. Stone's got a beat on it, 2 down.
And he got away with the pitch there. Brantley did a nice job putting a good swing on it, but ultimately got a little bit under that. Very efficient he's been so far, Eli Jones.
Now to bring up the shortstop, Anthony Hennings. Struck out his first time up in the 1st. Leads this team in batting average. It's dipped down to 345 now. Look at the move on that breaking pitch. It's also the confidence to break off a breaking ball, first pitch to a tough hitter like Hennings. Hennings puts down the bump, but that goes foul. Now he's in the hole 0-2.
Well, he's got a good idea of what he's working on. Eli Jones understands Henning's a good fastball hitter. Going to try to look for something middle in to drive to left center. Let me at least try to start him off with a wrinkle, see if he's swinging at it. Then you get an idea of what the hitter's approach is and what he might be looking for.
0-2 pitch, got him looking. Eli Jones, his second strikeout of the game. A 10-pitch inning, and this is the best starting performance for Eli Jones of the season.
We're constantly changing to keep everyone safe. Buses and trains have improved air filtration, and all buses are now equipped with mobile pay, so you can avoid touching surfaces. Safety doesn't mean just that you arrive safely. It means riders arrive on time and we stay on schedule. I do this for my community. I'm Tracy Patton, and I'm a Metro bus operator. I'm doing my part to keep the DC area moving.
Choosing T-Mobile is like paying for this, but getting that. And so much more. More 5G bars in more places. More savings so your family saves 20% versus the other guys. And we won't raise the price of your rate plan with our Price Lock Guarantee. Get more with T-Mobile. More 5G coverage, more savings, and even more cool stuff.
This is Squeeze Play, where we bring you the best moments of all the games throughout the 16 different regional sites.
Let's get quadratic. I think the goggles and the mohawk is a good look. People are leaving the yard. We're going deep sauce today.
You can find Squeeze Play on the ESPN app. The best way to watch the NCAA tournament.
It's around the corner. If Squeeze Play, we're talking about it. Postseason play. Let's take a look at the projected SEC teams in the NCAA tournament. Tennessee, obviously number 1. Auburn at 6. LSU, Florida, not used to seeing Vanderbilt down at the bottom. They're having a down year, but still finding a way. Projected to be in the big dance.
Yeah, Vanderbilt's one of those teams that you still have to respect. You understand that they haven't played as well as you normally see them playing, but any team has a chance once they get to the playoff.
Josiah Seitler homered in his first at-bat in the first inning, but we got a new pitcher on the mound. So far for North Carolina A&T, they've had a new pitcher every inning. This is Sterling Thomas, the lefty now. And Thomas, another guy with a little funky arm angle. The numbers for Sterling Thomas, this will be his 24th appearance on the season with an ERA just under 7. I mean, that is a really tough lefty-on-lefty matchup when you're coming just full sidearm at you.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be tough on lefties. Important to get him in the strike zone if you're South Carolina. He's high on the walks this year so far, but doing a nice job here ahead in the zone. You can see him waste a pitch here down and away. Is what I hope to see him do.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Seitler. Right on it. Drills that one into the right center field gap. It gets all the way to the wall. Seitler rounding first. He'll go into second with a leadoff stand-up double here in this bottom of the third.
And Seitler doing a nice job of staying down on a pitch, staying on that backside, really rotating well through the backside. And we talked about the balanced swings of these hitters. They do such a great job of staying in their feet and staying on pitches, staying in the middle of the field as well. Nice swing.
South Carolina, that's actually their first hit of the day that didn't come with 2 outs. And there's a wild pitch. Seitler will take third base. Seitler, he's one of the leaders of this team. Coach said he's not very vocal, but just the way he goes about his business, right? Like, he's one of those guys, you just see him go to work and you just follow the tone that he sets.
Well, those are always the guys that you want. We talked about a young South Carolina squad and some of the young players that have had to really step up. If there's a guy to watch, Seitler is that guy. See how he goes about his business, to understand what it's like to play in the SEC and what a routine should look like. A lot of times the young players are just starting to build a routine and figure out what they should be doing as far as that process, and having a guy like Seitler to watch and do it the right way, that's somebody that's the prime example for your organization and your program.
Was there a guy when you were coming up in the minor leagues or in the major league as a young guy who you looked up to, just the way he went about his business?
Yeah, for me, coming up in the Cardinals organization, Yadier Molina, a guy that when I got to the big leagues, like, I just tried to watch everything this guy did, because he was the prime example of what it looked like to be a professional. And the numbers showed it, right? And everybody talked about it, and he was a quiet leader. But those are the types of guys that you want to at least emulate, doing the right things and preparing yourself for every day in battle.
There's Andrew Eister, 1-1 count. That fastball misses down low, 2-1. Was there something you picked up from Molina, watching him just kind of go to work every day?
Yeah, I think it was just the attention to detail, and ultimately trying to figure out what guys aren't doing that I could be doing, as far as video, as far as, showing up early to work on specific things, whether it be nutrition, getting my body ready for the game. Those are the types of things I saw him really take extreme detail with, and I figured out that that's a part of what separates guys from good to great and Hall of Fame type players.
That's why it's so important to have such senior leadership, the seniors that they have on this South Carolina squad, because when you do have freshmen coming up, especially freshmen like Michael Braswell in the lineup, so much talent, they need guys to be able to look up to, and South Carolina has the youth and the experience. Swing and a miss, strike 3 by Eister, 1 down here in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, and I think to add on to that is just, having to go through class, right? Having to balance your classes as well as what you have to do for school. Those things are important when it comes to trying to produce as a player, but then also trying to balance everything else. When you're a young player, you're just now starting to figure out those things. Life skills become extremely important, and to have somebody to look up to in that sense that's doing it the right way, that's always important.
Braylon Wimmer, his second at bat, he delivered his first time up in the first with an RBI single. Pitch, put in play, left side, that one gets through the hole. Braylon Wimmer, another RBI single. That'll drive in Seitler from third as South Carolina takes a 4-0 lead here in the third.
And just a really nice job of taking advantage of the third baseman of NCAT coming in a little bit. And you see him just drive the baseball right past Rowan there. Just a nice job of taking advantage of pitch in the middle of the zone, putting it in play. With a runner on third, less than 2 outs, you want to make sure you put something in play, give yourself an opportunity for an RBI.
Runner goes down to second, not in time. So Braylon Wimmer has stolen his second base of the game. I mean, that's exactly what he did in the first. An RBI single in the first, stolen base. He repeats it here in the third. Wimmer's been consistent. Opportunity for an RBI for Braswell. Braswell delivered with an RBI single his first time up in the first. I mean, he's a really good, young-looking shortstop for this South Carolina team. And that is a balk called by home plate umpire Jeremy Crow. So Wimmer will move down to third now. So Sterling Thomas having some trouble on the mound with his control now. Didn't come to a full stop. Braswell deep to center field. Ash at the track makes the catch. And that'll score. Wimmer tagging from third. So South Carolina scores another. They go up 5-0 here in the third off the sac fly by Braswell.
Extremely nice job of Braswell. Just being able to wait for his pitch, getting something in the middle, being able to drive it in the middle of the field. I mentioned the approach of these South Carolina hitters is really on today from the first inning moving forward, but Braswell doing a nice job of driving something with the runner on third and getting the sacrifice fly, putting another run up on the board for his team.
Gotta give a lot of credit to Braylon Wimmer. I mean, that stolen base to second just manufactured that run off the balk, moved him to third, and then a sac fly gets him in. I mean, that's what winning teams do. You get a single, move the runners, get them in. The count on LaCroix. Put in play. That one gets through the hole on the left side. So with 2 outs, LaCroix has his first hit of the game.
And if you've noticed, John, these guys are just really balanced swings. Guys that are getting pitches and not chasing, right? Waiting for something in the middle of the zone. And they've done a nice job of not only putting the ball in play, but putting it in play with authority. That's something that you're always working on as a hitter. How can I make hard contact?
Here's Colin Burgess, the catcher. Flew out to center his first time up in the first. Fastball is in there for strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike to count on the catcher, Burgess. Hitters 3 through 7 in this South Carolina lineup are combined 7 for 7. They are just mashing right now.
You see even Burgess spitting on that pitch that's close, but they just have a great idea of the strike zone. Great plate discipline. They've come into this game well prepared as to what they were going to do with their approach.
That one is turned on. It's a fair ball in the left field corner. Rounding third is LaCroix at the plate. Not in time. LaCroix dives in safely. South Carolina takes a 6-0 lead off the RBI double by Colin Burgess.
And Colin Burgess, after not offering on a pitch down and away, does a nice job of getting a pitch back in the zone and just turning on it. Perfectly placing it down the line. Great hustle to come in to score, but credit Burgess for getting something over the middle and driving it.
Here's bottom line of Evan Stone, shows bunt, but will pull it back for ball 1. 6 of the 8 South Carolina hits tonight have come with 2 outs. I mean, Coach Mark Kingston told us they are focused right now. They're playing their best baseball of the season. And even a game like tonight against the North Carolina A&T with a 13-29 record on the season, they are not taking this game lightly. There is no let-up tonight for the Gamecocks. And that's just a sign of a well-coached team, right? Like, it doesn't matter who you face. You just come ready to play any night.
Yeah, there's got to be a specific mentality that's ingrained in the team that's on the field. They have to understand those things, and they've done a nice job today.
So North Carolina A&T will make a pitching change with 2 outs here in this bottom of the third. We will step aside and come back after this.
Open the gate, walk the platform, do my morning safety checks. Safety is always the #1 priority. Now, the focus is on trains and COVID precautions. Fresh air filters into trains every 3 minutes, and we're working hard to get all our trains back on track. This is our community. People are counting on us. My name is Jeff Dowden. I'm doing my part to keep Metro ready for you.
To T-Mobile home internet yet?
Trim your hedge.
It's $50 a month with no price hikes. Bam! It runs on T-Mobile's wireless 5G network. So all you gotta do is plug in one cord.
T-Mobile 5G home internet. Just $50 a month. No price hikes, no hidden fees.
I did it. I switched to T-Mobile Home Internet, and I am loving it.
Don't sneak up on me like that.
Why didn't you tell me to switch earlier?
So the Aggies go to the bullpen. This will be their fourth pitcher of the game here in this bottom of the third. The freshman, Evan Demarius from Miami, Florida, will try to get this third out here in this bottom of the third. Demarius making his 23rd appearance of the season, 1-2, with just under a 5 ERA. He's thrown 40 innings of work. And we were just told that both teams before the game did agree that if either team is up by 10 after 7, the game would be called. So South Carolina trying to tack on as many runs as they can to get to that mercy rule. Because a midweek game like this, you want to save your arms. So it's a 2-0 count on Evan Stone as Demarius comes into the game on the mound. Fastball swung through, 2-1.
Demarius is a guy we'll see mid to upper 80s. The big thing for him is locating his off-speed stuff and really being able to throw it for strikes.
That fastball is put into play into right field. Bussey with a beat on it, and there's the third out of the inning. South Carolina picks up 3 more here in the third. They lead at 6-0 after 3 here in Columbia, South Carolina.
As America's largest exterior remodeler, Window World knows our customers need more than just a pretty window. Our products are made in the USA, installed with exceptional care, and are accompanied by industry-leading warranties, all at a guaranteed low price. Our windows undergo extensive testing by the Good Housekeeping Institute, earning them the Good Housekeeping seal year after year. Check out our current offers and call now to schedule your free in-home consultation. Window World, simply the best for less.
Have you ever seen messages on end-of-life planning on TV? It's a subject that many people are uncomfortable discussing, but this could be one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. At memorialplanning.com, we know how emotionally and financially difficult it can be when there is an unexpected passing, and immediate decisions must be made. For that reason, it's never too early to be prepared. Visit memorialplanning.com for a free guide or call 888-211-4149 to speak with a local caring counselor today.
Eli Jones with his best start on the mound of the season for South Carolina.
Yeah, he's been really effective using all of his pitches, the fastball, the slider, being able to locate down in the zone, done a nice job of horizontal and vertical movement on his pitches. And the biggest thing, no walks, no freebies, only using 36 pitches. He's been extremely effective.
Appeal down to first to see if Xavier Bussey went around. They said he did not, so that's ball 1. Pounded into the ground. Eli Jones fields at the mound, throws over, 1 down here in this top of the 4th.
And a nice job. The one thing I love about Eli Jones is even though that first pitch was a slider trying to get a swing and miss, a pitch that's a little bit out of the zone and expanded, he gets behind in the count and then gets right back in the middle of the zone. Does a nice job of getting back to establishing his strikes and gets weak contact. That's what we've continued to see.
There's Brett Mersman, the DH, flew out to left his first time up. Now, with a pitch count at 50, this could be the last inning of work for Eli Jones, but with his performance today, I mean, this is above and beyond what the coaching staff expected out of him today. He has had an outstanding performance on the mound. I mean, this is a season high, the first time he's gone 3 innings so far this year. Pitch misses inside, 2-1 the count on Mersman. We've seen some good movement on his fastball, some good bite on his breaking ball. A lot of encouraging stuff on the mound for Jones.
Yeah, and I think once you have the confidence, especially after Tommy John, to really start letting your pitches rip no matter what the count is, that shows the conviction that you have within your pitches. You start building more confidence to be able to go after guys, especially with 2 strikes, and put them away. And I think he knows he can get the weak contact early now. Now he can start to navigate setting guys up and really good pitch mix to put guys away as well.
So Merschman delivers with a hit up the middle with 1 out. That is the second hit of the ball game for the Aggies.
Really nice job.
But even that
Merschman.
hit, I mean, wasn't even well hit. I mean, that was a kind of a weak ground ball, just well placed. That was a quality pitch by Eli Jones.
Yeah, and that's what you want, right? You want guys to kind of swing at your pitch, and got to give credit to Merschman, even though it's a pitch that's not necessarily a hitter's pitch, does a nice job of getting enough barrel on it to get it up the middle and at least get on base for his team. We haven't seen a lot of base runners for NCA&T.
89-mile-per-hour fastball misses low and away to the first baseman, Chet Sykes. Sykes grounded out his first at bat in the second. Held the swing there, so 2-0 the count on Sykes. Jones, the freshman on the mound from Peachtree City, Georgia. Best start of his young career. 2-0 pitch. That is lined into right field. So back-to-back hits now for the Aggies. And we do have some activity in the bullpen for South Carolina as Aiden Hunter starts to get warm.
Well, a really nice job of Sykes just being able to get a 2-0 pitch and lining it the other way, doing a nice job of taking it to the opposite field, not trying to do too much with this pitch. And for North Carolina A&T, just continuing to get base runners is going to be important for them and trying to get somebody to drive them in.
So first and second, 1 out. That'll bring up the freshman sensation, Kenyon Brown. He fouls off that first pitch. Before that strike, Eli Jones was 0 for 3 on first pitch strikes this inning, so that's why he was falling behind the hitters. But as you can see, he's starting to come back. 48 pitches. We were told his max would be 50 tonight. A 1 pitch, breaking ball. I mean, look at the tight rotation on that breaking ball.
Yeah, that's a ball that, and you see a lot of the off-balance swings from the hitters on that pitch. It's a ball that looks like a fastball coming in and just dives down at the last second, has great tilt to it. It's going to be a pitch that's hard, especially for right-handers to pick up.
Pitch number 50 is fouled off. We'll do it again, 0-2 the count. Well, Kenyon Brown is the guy they want up at the plate. Last week, I mean, look at the numbers. In 4 games, 3 home runs. This guy is on a tear right now. Back-to-back Big South Freshman of the Week honors. 0-2 pitch.
And that's exactly why he's not going to get too many fastballs. He was tearing the cover off of fastballs this past weekend, so just being able to stay away with the fastball as well as use that slider that Eli Jones has that's been playing so well is going to be a plan of attack. 0-2 is another time to spoil a pitch, a slider down in the dirt or a fastball up, try to get him to chase.
Let's see what Jones does here with 0-2 pitch.
See, that's
now, this
too
is
good
a huge
of a pitch right there. Too good of a pitch right there for me, a fastball running in. And that's exactly where he's looking for, try to get a pitch to drive, is that fastball in the inner half. That's why you got to stay away. Either try to paint with the fastball away or you go slider down, try to get him to chase.
His velocity is starting to dip a little bit on the mound. Eli Jones was touching 90 in the first few innings. Now he's topping out at 88. Here's the 0-2. 90 miles per hour on the edge, paints the fastball. Jones picks up his third strikeout of the game.
And just a perfectly placed pitch right there. This is a pitch on the outer half that's, painted away. It might be a ball off the plate, but either way, this is a pitch that, as a hitter, you're not looking to put a great swing on it. That just freezes him.
And that'll do it for Eli Jones, the best start of his freshman career. 53 pitches here into this fourth inning with 2 outs. And we will make the call to the bullpen. Listen to the round of applause for the crowd here at Founders Park. They appreciate the effort from the freshman. We will step aside for this pitching change. We'll be right back after this quick break. Well, everything's going according to plan so far for South Carolina. Eli Jones, they wanted to get at least 3 out of him. They went 3 2/3. That is a career high for the freshman. No runs, gave up 3 hits. A real quality start for Eli Jones.
Yeah, extremely impressive. And he's going to pass the ball to Aiden Hunter, who's going to have to continue that same momentum. You see the innings, 39 innings, does a nice job of getting strikeouts. He's got 31 on the year. Big thing for him is just to limit the hits, right? Limit staying in the middle of the zone and try to work those swing and misses that he's done a nice job of this year.
So with 2 outs, Hunter will come on. Runners on at first and second. Bring up the center fielder, TJ Ash. And if you're the Aggies, this is a really important spot because both teams have already agreed to end this game by the run rule if either team is down by 10 after 7 innings. Snap throw down to first, not in time. But Colin Burgess, you better be awake with him behind the plate.
Yeah, definitely one of those arms behind the plate that'll take advantage of guys sleeping over at first base. You see the lead, the secondary.
Ooh, that was real close.
Definitely close. But that's one of those ones where as a first baseman, you got to get over there a little bit earlier. If the play is on, you got to get yourself in a better position to put that tag on. I think they might check this one out.
Yeah. So they are going to review this because the ball clearly beat the runner, but let's see where the tag was applied as Madden came barreling through.
And as a runner on first base getting your secondary, your first move, if the catcher has caught the ball or there's a strike, you always want to make sure you're busting it back to the bag as quick as possible, or at least that first step. That way there's no chance for a back pick. If you look here, it was almost as if Sykes reacted too late. And like you said, the ball actually beat him there, but just was there a tag applied by Madden is tough to see.
Now, on a play like this, is that something predetermined, or is that just the catcher Colin Burgess all on his own, just reacting?
Yeah, that's something that's predetermined. Here it looks as if Madden might not have been aware and kind of just reacted off of the back throw. That's why I was saying Madden, most likely, if he knew about it, should have been already in better position. So it might have been one of those situations where Burgess just said, okay, let me at least see if Madden's close to the bag and fired a missile down over there to first. Good thing he was at least there. But if he's in better position, this is an automatic out. See how Madden's kind of trying to catch his balance there?
Let's zoom this one in. See where the tag was applied. Did Madden get him on the arm coming in?
Yeah, tag was applied a little bit high. Tough to tell there.
So the call on the field was safe at first. Do you think there's enough to overturn it?
from the angles that we saw, the camera shots that we saw, I think it's going to be tough to overturn.
So here they come. Here's the decision from home plate umpire Jeremy Crow. And it's overturned. It is now out at first. Colin Burgess picks off Chet Sykes for the third out here in this top of the fourth. What an arm behind the plate by South Carolina. Coming up on the other side of the break, we will hear from head coach Ben Hall for North Carolina A&T. We'll put the headset on and we will talk to the head coach after this. Here, Scruggs, we are pleased to be joined by Aggies head coach Ben Hall. Coach Hall, really appreciate your time. From your assessment, what did you see on that last play to end the top of the fourth, and what did you tell your team before they took the field?
Oh man, we're not taking bad at bats right now, but you get a mistake like that on base run and you get a 2-0 count, that really hurts your ability to keep stringing quality at bats together. And that kind of seems to be the story. You get a couple good ones in a row, and then you kind of have a mental mistake like that, not hard out, hard back, and it really hurts your opportunity to put some runs together.
And Coach, pitching-wise, what have you seen so far from the guys out there on the bump, and what do you want to continue to see throughout the course of the game?
I just want to see them compete. That a lot of these guys out here right now aren't maybe not having a lot of innings in the year. Jackson Hole's only had 6 innings all year, and despite giving up some runs, he was in the zone a little more. So that was a small step in the right direction. You just want to see guys compete, pitch to pitch, and I tell guys all the time, development doesn't stop. Doesn't matter what time of the year you're at. So every time we're on the rubber and under the lights, you got a chance to get better. So
Ben Hall, head coach of North Carolina A&T. Really appreciate you spending some time with us.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
So Brant Belk started off the inning, grounded out. And here's Kevin Madden, gives a ride into that one. Fly ball to right. Caught by Bussey. Bussey a little old school. No undershirt, letting the shirt fly open, the jersey open. I like the style in right.
I feel like you're seeing that more and more today, kind of letting some of the buttons hang open. You mentioned no undershirt. Let the swag of the chain pop out so people can see it. He's got the glasses on the back of the head. No more sun. He's swagging out there.
Now, it is hot. It is 89 degrees in Columbia, South Carolina. So you don't have to wear the undershirt, but yeah. Dripping with swag tonight.
And really did a nice job of the first step, getting to that ball. Read that extremely well. Sometimes those line drives can be a little tougher to read, especially depending upon the time of night. So did a nice job of that first step and getting to that and securing the out.
Josiah Seitler having himself a ball game already. A solo home run in the first, a double, and then would come around to score in the third. Seitler a team high now, 9 home runs on the season. And this is a guy who's battling a high ankle sprain. I mean, you could see it even in his last at bat when he legged out that double. His wheels are not 100% healthy, but still at the plate, man. Amazing that he's able to have that balance. Three-one pitch, and that hit him.
I think that's one thing that's been impressive to see, too, is, as a hitter, a lot of times when you have those lower extremity injuries, they can mess a little bit with your balance, a little bit with kind of how you load at the plate, and he's done a nice job of still sticking with that same routine and be able to get himself in a good position to hit. We've already seen the home run and the double. He's done a nice job today so far.
Eister is 1 for 2, double and scored in the first, struck out in the third. You see Seitler doesn't have a big lead at first. Two outs here in the bottom of the fourth. And Evan Demarius, who had an effective third inning, has now thrown 7 straight balls.
Yeah, it just looks like to me that he's having a tough time repeating his delivery and getting back to his release point in which he was throwing strikes. Comes out of his hand good, but a lot of times it's the command that he's got to be more focused on and throwing quality strikes and not letting pitches get away from him.
So 3-0 count to the cleanup hitter Andrew Eistert. And that one's not even close. South Carolina put up 3 runs in the first, 3 runs in the third, and here they are threatening again here in the fourth. Runners on at first and second with 2 outs. And Braylon Wimmer, RBI single in the first, RBI single in the third. It's impressive to see the approach at the plate, too, for these South Carolina hitters. A lot of their damage has been coming with 2 outs at the plate. Snap throw down to first. Not in time. Canyon Brown says, I got an arm, too.
Well, he's just trying to find a way to help Evan Demarius in any way, shape, or form right now. He hasn't been able to throw a strike. He's got to get him back into the zone.
There's a strike by Evan Demarius. 2 balls and a strike to count on Wimmer. Beautiful night in Columbia, South Carolina. 89 degrees. Midweek non-conference game. Off-speed pitch swung through by Wimmer. 2-2.
And whatever that was there, at least finding that release point, he's got to stick with that. That's a nice, sharp, off-speed pitch, a nice slider.
Fouled off at the plate. Isn't it amazing when guys have all the gear on? You got ankle gear on the shin guard, you got an elbow guard. It always finds a way to miss that stuff.
You're so right, John. Anytime, I think back to my time playing, anytime I would be wearing something, it was like, man, why does it always go right above it or right below it?
Ground out to second. That'll end the inning. So South Carolina strands 2 runners. They continue to lead 6-0 after 4. To Omaha. Now that we're in May, let's take a look at some of the key dates for the rest of the season. The NCAA Tournament Selection Show on May the 30th. Regionals start on June the 3rd. And the College World Series, June 17th. That's where everyone's trying to be this summer. All right, everyone knows about Tennessee. Obviously, they are just rolling through right now. Do you have a sleeper team to make it to Omaha?
I don't know if it's a sleeper team if you can talk about Vanderbilt, and what they've done in the past, but I still think this is a team that you've got to watch out for. If they get an opportunity. But I also just look at Tennessee and how tough they are, and this is going to be a team that could easily just roll through everybody.
So TJ Ash starts off this top of the 5th inning because Sykes got picked off at first. So it'll be 7, 8, 9 due up for North Carolina A&T. Fly ball center field coming on is Stone. And he makes the catch for the first out here in this top of the 5th. All right, let's talk South Carolina's postseason chances, because you talked about Vandy as your sleeper team, but this Gamecocks team, they took 2 of 3 from Vanderbilt. They just swept Alabama this past weekend. They're getting hot at the right time.
Yeah, absolutely. I even like what they did against Ole Miss, who was number 25 at the time. just a couple of weeks ago. They've done a nice job of starting to fire on all cylinders, and I think we even see it today with the pitching. Pitching is the foundation of how far a lot of these teams will go, and I like what they've done as far as attacking the zone and some of these younger pitchers who have really stepped up and have extremely good stuff.
Wimmer makes the play at second base, 2 outs here in this top of the 5th. You also got to give a lot of credit to head coach Mark Kingston, right? No panic to start this year. He was counting on a ton of top arms. They weren't available. You mentioned it earlier. He went to some young arms, got some guys experience, some freshmen, and now that people are starting to get healthy, not only do you have the leaders stepping up, but you've got some freshmen who have been playing in some big spots already this year.
Absolutely. I even think about Braswell and what he's been able to do. You look at some of the SEC leaders and Brant Belk, who's 10th in SEC with batting average, tied 9th in the league with 10 stolen bases. So power, speed, threat we've talked about before. And then some of the pitching, right? Will Sanders and what he's done. 71 strikeouts and 61 in a third inning. Done a nice job. Cade Austin as well. So I look at a lot of their guys. Noah Hall. Really impressive stuff.
I mean, Noah Hall was a guy who they thought was going to be a back-end reliever, maybe getting an inning or 2 out of him throughout the season. And he has stepped into a starting weekend rotation and has become a force in the SEC.
Yeah, and that's that development that you're talking about, right? In which some of these guys have done a nice job of, almost not accepting the original roles, but continuing to get better throughout the course of the year. And that's really all you can ask for from your guys.
Aiden Hunter, 1-2 pitch inside, just off the plate. Hunter wanted that one. Bottom of the lineup for the Aggies, this is Sabin Roan. Flew out his first time up in the 3rd. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. Hunter delivers, misses, count is full. With 2 outs, payoff pitch. Got him swinging. Aiden Hunter gets the strikeout for a 1-2-3 top of the 5th. And coming up, we talked about him, starting pitcher for South Carolina, Noah Hall will join us after the break. Put the headset on, Noah. We want to talk to you. Well, we talked about the performance by Noah Hall on the mound. Let's show what he did on Friday against Alabama. Just dominant. 7 innings strong. Gave up 3 hits, no runs, 8 strikeouts, picking up the win over Alabama. And now here he is on the mic. Noah Hall, really appreciate you joining us. First off, congratulations, man. SEC Co-Pitcher of the Week. What does that honor mean to you?
It's pretty sick. I like it. It's cool, but I was really just glad that we got the win. That's what I was really trying to pitch for. So to get both of them, it's pretty sick. And to do this is a cool weekend. It's a cool week.
Noah, you've done a nice job of continually getting better. I even go back to that start against Georgia in which you racked up 10 Ks as well. What works best for you when you feel like you're on? What are you doing extremely well?
Attacking hitters, pitching with no fear, just not being able to, not scared to attack someone, going after them. Because I have the stuff to, compete in the zone. So that's really I just worry about my mindset and just making sure I'm staying smooth with my mechanics, make sure everything's clean. But, yeah, it's really the mindset.
You're a transfer from Appalachian State. When you were recruited here, Coach told us that you were going to be kind of a back-end bullpen guy. How have you transformed into this starting pitcher? Talk about the mentality it takes to really take on that role.
Yeah, it's just you got to do your job. I mean, it's a whole different kind of mentality when you're facing hitters, because when you're a reliever, you're looking in, you're coming in, you want to strike everybody out. You want to be dominant. You want to get out as fast as possible. When you're starting, you got to cruise. You got to make sure that you can do your job for the team. Go 5, 6, 7 innings, whatever they need, and just get your arm in shape. It's fun though. I like it. I've always wanted to be a starter. But I guess just when I came in my freshman year, that's what they wanted me to do. And I liked it, but I definitely like starting more.
Noah, take us through a little bit of kind of what the middle of the week looks like before your start. What are those routines, and how do you set that routine getting ready for a start?
Yeah, so I had to change my whole routine really from the beginning of this season because I was a reliever, and I'm really big on routine, really. So when I became a starter, it was just, making sure you're throwing like a certain amount of feet on the right days, make sure you're getting your long toss in throughout the week, make sure you're getting your mound work in too, so you feel good even without the ball. That's about it. And a lot of recovery, stretching. Sorry, gotta throw that in there. That's really the key.
Nice.
Yeah.
Take us into the dugout. I mean, take us behind the scenes. Let us know about this South Carolina team. What makes this team unique? And tell us maybe who's like the biggest character on this team.
Biggest character? I don't know. We got a lot of characters. I think that's what's like good. I think that's what's good. We got a whole bunch of different personalities. Like you got Burgess, he's hardcore. He's real hardcore. And then you got Stone right here. He's just having fun. He's just playing the game. So I feel like we just all kind of are starting to mix together, play off each other's energy, play off each other's vibes. But if I had to pick one person, I would have to say either Wesley Sweat or Will Sanders, to be honest.
Okay, now why? What makes them the biggest characters?
They're just different. They're just different dudes, man. They're just different. They're just different guys. I like them though. I love them both, but they're just quirky.
That's funny. Now you got to be careful because Coach Kingston's right next to you. But what's it been like? Kind of learning from him, and what makes him special, and that bond that you guys have.
Yeah, he really he figured out a way to push me. I can't remember what weekend it was. Was it Missouri? Can I ask you a question? Was it Missouri when you told me to go out there and dominate? Was that Missouri? Or who was that? I think it was Missouri. Yeah. I think it was Missouri. We really needed a dub on Friday. We hadn't win on Friday, and I think he told me before the game when we were looking at the scout report, just be dominant, and he just figured out a way. Yeah, right? Yeah. And he just told me to be dominant, and then he figured out a way to push me. Same with Coach Parker. They figured out a way to, get under my skin, but also they wanted me to perform to my best. So I love them both.
That was Colin Burgess there with a 2-out double for South Carolina. We're talking to Noah Hall, who picked up the big win on Friday against Alabama. All right, Noah, what does it take to get under your skin? How do the coaches push you? What buttons does it take?
They really they try me. They don't give me any satisfaction, and I like that. They don't let me give up or be content with what I did until I got my job done, until I'm walking off the field, and I really appreciate that.
That's awesome.
Let's go, Stone.
That ball is well hit by Evan Stone out into center field. Back at the wall, off the top of the wall.
Let's go, Stone.
Evan Stone with an RBI double with 2 outs, drives in the run here in the bottom of the 5th. South Carolina takes a 7-0 lead.
I thought that was gone. I thought Stone had his first ball.
That's one of those ones you might have to tell him to hit the weight room a little bit. That hit off the top of that hit right off the top of the fence, inches away from a home run. But a great swing there. Did a nice job to drive it in the RBI.
It's been fun to watch the development of this South Carolina team. We talked to Coach, and he said you guys had so many injuries to start this year, but now you're starting to put things together. What's the ceiling for this team you've got right now?
I mean, I really think we could, as long as we go out and try to compete every single day and play like we're playing the top seed team and like we're playing at Omaha, I feel like we can beat anybody, to be honest, to be completely real with you. But it's just a matter of us gaining that confidence throughout the season. I feel like we're hitting that point.
This is Brent Belt, the leadoff hitter. He takes that strike.
Noah, for you, is there a certain guy on the team or somebody that even maybe not on the team that you've looked up to as far as maybe trying to emulate their style or really try to take a lot from a pitching standpoint?
Max Scherzer, I would have to say. I really like Max Scherzer, Marcus Stroman, just because he's a little guy. Devin Williams. That's how I got that changeup. I looked up a video how to throw it from him.
The airbender.
Yeah, the airbender. But yeah, Max Scherzer just because of his mentality.
Noah Hall, man, we appreciate you putting the headset on for us. Looking for another special performance from you for this weekend.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
South Carolina picks up another one, up 7-0.
The overtime went into overtime. What do? You turn to DiGiorno to be MVP. MV Pizza. Fresh baked taste. The win and move. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Open the gate, walk the platform, do my morning safety checks. Safety is always the number one priority. Now, the focus is on trains and COVID precautions. Fresh air filters into trains every 3 minutes. And we're working hard to get all our trains back on track. This is our community. People are counting on us. My name is Jeff Dowden. I'm doing my part to keep Metro ready for you.
Sunday Night Rally Cap is back to break down the week that was in baseball and softball with highlights, analysis, and interviews. They'll also get you set with a look ahead at the upcoming week's best matchups. Rally Cap, Sunday at 5 Eastern, 4 Central, right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Let's get you caught up if you're just joining us here in the top of the 6th inning. South Carolina with a 7-0 lead. Eli Jones went 3 2/3 innings strong, his longest outing of his career. Only gave up 3 hits, a strong performance on the mound, and the bats have picked up. They scored 3 in the first, 3 in the third, and 1 in the fifth. South Carolina is up 7-0. And once again, both teams before the game agreed that if either team is up by 10 runs after 7, this game would be called due to the run rule. Top of the lineup for North Carolina A&T here in the 6th. Cameron Brantley is 1 for 2, singled in the first and stole second. X, I bet that's what your uniform looked like after every game. Just dirt everywhere, right? Like, we're in the 6th inning and it's just a mess. I love it, right?
You always want somebody to have to really dig deep and wash your jersey when you're done with the game. That lets them know you played well.
Brantley strokes that one into right. It gets all the way into the corner. Brantley with his second hit of the game. He's got a double to start this top of the 6th.
Yeah, Brantley's been a guy that I've been impressed with. Just the smoothness of his swing and his ability to, use all fields. Does a nice job with his legs. He's a threat on the base paths. As long as he continues to take advantage of pitches in the middle of the zone and not miss them, this is a guy that can continue to swing the bat well throughout the course of the season.
For the Aggies, that's their first extra base hit of the night. And that'll bring up Anthony Hennings, 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts. Fastball is in there for strike 1. Now, both of those strikeouts were against the starting pitcher, Eli Jones, so this is his first time facing the reliever, Aiden Hunter. And we talked so highly about Hennings coming into the game, but Jones really had the best of him in both of those at-bats. Ball, 1 strike to count on the Aggie shortstop. Hunter delivers. Breaking ball pounded into the ground at third, fielded by LaCroix. Throw across. Got him. Nice scoop at first by Madden. There's the first out here in the top of the 6th.
It's a really nice job of Madden being able to stay low in his legs, be able to make that pick. As a first baseman, you always want to save your other infielders from throwing away balls or making errors, but really nice job of just staying with that ball. Almost a no-look pick right there, but did a nice job of staying down.
Here's a right fielder, Xavier Bussey. Good stop behind the plate by Colin Burgess. How many buttons is that? I think that's like 4 buttons down now. It looked like in the outfield it was only 2 or 3 deep. I think he lost another one.
Well, you know those guys named Xavier, they always have muscles to show off of. So I think that's what he might be doing.
Ball gets past Burgess, so Brantley will scoot down to third.
And this is where Xavier has to take advantage here. They haven't really had too many opportunities with runners in scoring position, and the ones that they've had, they've been 0 for 6. So really now just simplify the game. It's 2-0 count. You're looking for 1 pitch, 1 spot, and to be able to drive it to the outfield, at least get a sacrifice fly. But you got to be thinking middle of the field here.
So Brantley's the only runner for North Carolina A&T who's reached third base. That happened in the first inning, but he was called out at home when they sent him. Now he is here on third again, just 1 out. Can the Aggies find a way to get their first run across? Home plate umpire Jeremy Crow is giving some kind of a ruling. I think he just had some was talking to the pitcher. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Breaking ball is in there from Hunter.
And just confidence right there from Hunter to be able to break one off, 2-0 count, trusting it. Might get that again here.
Right on cue. Hunter goes back to the well, gets a swing and a miss. Now it counts even at 2-2. What do you have to protect against if you're at the plate now against Hunter?
That same pitch right here.
Weak grounder back to the mound. Runner stays at third. Hunter gets the out. Nicely done by the pitcher.
And it's just the arsenal of Hunter and the trust that he has in his off-speed pitches to get back into the zone, get back into the count, especially when you have guys that hit the fastball well. Xavier Bussey hits the fastball extremely well. You want to be able to mix something else in when the hitters ahead in the count. Did a nice job of getting weak contact there. None of those were really good pitches to hit.
Breaking ball misses upstairs. 1-0 the count to Brett Mersman, the DH. Mersman is 1 for 2, single in his last at bat in the fourth. That is hard hit right side under the glove of Wimmer, and North Carolina A&T gets on the board. An RBI single by Brett Mersman, and the Aggies trail 7-1.
Mersman did a nice job in the fourth inning driving a baseball through the middle of the field, and now it does a nice job of getting a pitch, taking advantage of just getting it underneath the glove of Wimmer, but hit the ball hard enough to where it had an opportunity to get through. So have to credit him for getting good barrel on that pitch right there.
Well, that's the best pitch we've seen from Aiden Hunter. That tight slider has really gotten a lot of swing and misses, and he starts off Chet Sykes 0-1. Another swing and a miss. X, you know, they actually didn't credit Mersman with a hit there. That is an error on Wimmer, E4. Wow.
Wow. That's a tough error.
That's a real tough error. That ball was smoked. Outside, just off the edge, 1-2 on Sykes. Hunter checks on Mersman at first. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball. Center field, Stone makes the catch. Well, North Carolina A&T gets on the board. The double by Brantley, and he would eventually come around to score on the error. South Carolina leads 7-1.
I neighbor, you switched to T-Mobile home internet yet?
Trim your hedge.
It's $50 a month with no price hikes. Bam! It runs on T-Mobile's wireless 5G network, so all you gotta do is plug in one cord.
T-Mobile 5G home internet. Just $50 a month. No price hikes, no hidden fees.
I did it. I switched to T-Mobile home internet, and I am loving it.
Don't sneak up on me like that.
Why didn't you tell me to switch earlier?
Have you ever seen messages on end-of-life planning on TV? It's a subject that many people are uncomfortable discussing, but this could be one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. At memorialplanning.com, we know how emotionally and financially difficult it can be when there is an unexpected passing, and immediate decisions must be made. For that reason, it's never too early to be prepared. Visit memorialplanning.com for a free guide or call 888-211-4149 to speak with a local caring counselor today.
The 5th-ranked Razorbacks and Aggies cap our Saturday afternoon tripleheader at 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central, right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. The day starts at 11:30 a.m. Eastern with Auburn and Tennessee, then Ole Miss and Georgia. I got Kentucky at South Carolina softball on Sunday. I'm looking forward to that one. So the softball in the SEC starting to get hot as well. New pitcher on the mound for the Aggies, Jeremiah Foster, the righty, making his 14th appearance on the season. Foster is the 6th pitcher used by North Carolina A&T today. With 11 1/3 innings of work, Foster trying to show the coaching staff that he is a reliable guy out of the bullpen. Big bats coming up for South Carolina. 2-3-4 coming up. Kevin Madden will start things off, the first baseman. Madden is 0 for 3 with a strikeout in the second. Foster's breaking ball bends in there. 1 ball and a strike to count on Madden. That ball is crushed. Left center field. It's going to stay in the ballpark as Ash squeezes one down.
And really, Jeremiah Foster got away with one right there. Off-speed pitch left up over the middle of the zone.
Well, Josiah Seitler did not miss this one in the first inning. Out of the ballpark into the street.
Yeah, great swing by Seitler there. Done a nice job of getting pitches that he can handle. Works good counts. Has the power to show off.
Seitler is 2 for 2 today. That solo home run came in the first. Hit a double and scored in the third, and then he was hit by a pitch in the fourth. One pitch is fouled off at the plate. 1-2. So hard if you're a hitter going against these North Carolina A&T pitchers who are all so different, right? Every inning we've seen a new pitcher from the Aggies with a different arm angle, different velocity. You got Jeremiah Foster now throwing low 80s. You got to time him now.
Yeah, you're right. It's not easy to do, but when you're a hitter that has a good understanding of the strike zone and what you want to do and what pitch you're looking for, those are the hitters that take advantage, and they don't miss good pitches, no matter what the location of delivery or what the pitcher is trying to do.
Roan makes that catch fighting with the wind. He lost that cap early.
Yeah,
so
nice
2 down now
really
here in the bottom of the 6th.
Did a nice job of gathering himself after getting past the foul line and being able to come back, staying with that ball. You see the wind a little bit playing a factor, especially high fly balls, so staying with that is going to be crucial.
Andrew Eister Grounds that one. It gets past the shortstop, Hennings. Once again with 2 outs. Another hit for South Carolina. 9 of the 11 South Carolina hits today have come with 2 outs. That is impressive.
And really a sign of a good hitting team, a team that continues to battle. You know, Eister is having a good season. One of the big things for him is he's driving in runs left and right, leads his team in RBI, so doing a nice job.
So Elijah Lambros will be the pinch runner at first. Will take over for Eister. Runner goes, first pitch, down to second in plenty of time. Canyon Brown throws out his second runner of the game. They keep testing him, and he has been up to the test today. How about this arm, X?
Yeah, he lets this thing go. Perfect throw down to second base with a perfect tag. That's what we call the hose piece right there.
The catcher for North Carolina A&T, Canyon Brown, fresh off of throwing out the runner at second. He will lead off here in this top of the 7th. John Schriffen alongside my partner Xavier Scruggs. South Carolina leads us 7-1 here in this top of the 7th. And X, we had a good conversation with Aggies head coach Ben Hall, because North Carolina A&T and HBCU, historically one of the best black baseball programs in the country, as I asked him what his recruiting philosophy is, right? Do you recruit solely black players? And he said, I'm looking for the best baseball player I can find. Brown flies out to left field, 1 down. He said, obviously, we'd love to find black baseball players, but there's no quota. And you can see he's got a mix of ethnicities on his team. And this team is in the midst of changing conferences. Last year, they were in the MEAC. They were one of the founders of the MEAC. That was all historically black schools and universities. And this season, they're in the Big South. They're only spending 1 year because next year, they're joining the Colonial Athletic Association. So they are on the move once again.
Yeah, this program will continue to be challenged, especially, you know, as it continues to get better. And I think that's what you're looking forward to as a program, is continuing to play these different schools that have better competition, and you continue to see where you measure up. And hopefully that those things help with the recruiting process, right? And also encourage all types of ethnicities, all types of minorities, and whoever it may be, to join a program that's getting more and more solid year by year.
TJ Ash slaps that one to left center field. It gets down. And Ash will have himself a 1-out double.
And I think that's what's, you know, going to be continue to be impressive about this program, is it's going to have to adjust to different conferences, right? And there's no excuses that come along with that. It's, you know, continue to recruit the best players that you can. Continue to encourage young athletes that this is a program that you want to be a part of, and doing things the right way. You got to give kudos to, you know, Coach Hall, and understand that he's got a tough task inviting young players to new conferences, but he's doing a nice job of recruiting good players.
I think the myth also is that a lot of times when people think about HBCUs, they think that those schools typically don't have the funding or the facilities that other big schools might have. And that's certainly not true. But I think also, when talking to a lot of coaches from around HBCUs, they tell you that when you go there, you get the attention, right? It's not just even on the field, it's off the field, and it's the valuable lessons you can learn, and the one-on-one attention in classrooms that a lot of students choose in HBCUs because it can set them up for later on in life.
Yeah, and that's the most important thing, right? You know, you never know how far baseball is going to take you, but whatever you can do in life is going to help best.
Alex Seaton, that one is a fair ball. TJ Ash will come around to score, and Seaton has himself an RBI double. South Carolina leads 7-2 now here in the 7th.
And really now guys doing a better job of getting the barrel on pitches in the middle of the zone. Nice job of lacing one down that left field line and staying on the off-speed pitch right there. Seton, great
that
at
is
that.
Officially for North Carolina A&T, their first hit with a runner in scoring position. Back-to-back doubles, and that'll bring up bottom of the order, Saban Roan. Some quality baseball players have come out of HBCUs. Got to go back to Lou Brock from Southern, Joe Black, Andre Dawson, and most recently, Ricky Weeks Jr. from Southern University. Some really quality players in the big leagues.
Yeah, extremely quality players. I got an opportunity to meet a couple of those guys, Lou Brock and Andre Dawson, the Hawk, who was with the Marlins during my time there while I was playing for Miami. And then Larry Doby, I've also talked to his Larry Doby Jr. So a really impressive group of guys right there that ended up being some amazing ball players.
Saban Roan ahead of the count, 1-0.
And you got to remember too, John, no matter where you play, if you are a quality player and you find a way to continue to develop, scouts will find you. Teams will continue to find the best talent. So it may not matter where necessarily you go or the big name school or whatever it may be. As long as you're working on your skills and continue to make those better every day, you will give yourself an opportunity to be seen. And I think that may be a little bit of the misconception as well, as guys feel like they have to go to a certain school to be recognized or to be scouted. Hey, if you take care of business wherever you're at, somebody will put their eyes on you and you'll be able to be developed in somebody's organization.
I mean, think of two guys we've seen in this game so far that have impressed us. The leadoff hitter for North Carolina A&T, Cameron Brantley, and the catcher, Canyon Brown. I mean, both of those guys have really impressed so far against South Carolina tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, you're talking about guys with some really good skills, and the biggest thing for them would be to continue to develop those skills. You know, and it takes hard work. It takes every single day going out there and working on your weaknesses. I think a lot of times as college players, and I remember myself during that time, is I had a lot of want to focus on my strengths, and it's the guys that focus on their weaknesses that end up getting themselves further on in their baseball careers.
So bottom of the order, Saban Roan draws a one-out walk. And that'll turn the lineup over to Cameron Brantley, a guy we've been talking about. He is 2 for 3 today. Single, stolen base in the first, and then a double will come around to score in the sixth. I mean, for Cameron Brantley, he is the only Aggies batter with multiple hits in the lineup today. We're going to have a conversation on the mound with Aiden Hunter. With runners on at first and second, one out, we got some activity in the bullpen for South Carolina.
Yeah, this conversation is more about just slowing some things down and really getting back to, you know, throwing strikes. Credit North Carolina A&T, who's taking some better at-bats right now. They look to have a better approach. Now you're trying to get a little bit more of the swing and miss right now and stay ahead in the zone if you're Hunter.
I mean, not only do I love to see so many diverse faces on the field, I love that a school like South Carolina, Power 5 school in the SEC, is giving an opportunity to a school like North Carolina A&T to play them, right? Like sometimes you see big schools who don't want to play necessarily some schools, but South Carolina is not afraid to play anyone. They know North Carolina A&T has knocked off some big teams this year. It's a big at-bat here at the plate. Cameron Brantley is 2 for 3. Got runners at first and second, just one out. Hunter on the mound, working out of the stretch. 0-1, in on the hands. Shallow right center. That one's going to fall in right field. Runner rounding third will score easily. Seton will score. And North Carolina A&T is now down by 4 off the RBI single from Cameron Brantley.
And Brantley just does a nice job of placing this ball exactly where the defenders are not. You mentioned it. They were 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position up until that point. And Brantley does a nice job of fighting a pitch off and putting it in play. That's all you could ask for there. Affords his team another run.
Cameron Brantley is now 3 for 4 today. What's impressed you about that young man?
I think the quickness in his swing, that's one thing that I've been thinking about, is he gets to these pitches extremely quick. That wasn't necessarily a hitter's pitch right there, but did a nice job of getting his hands inside the baseball and creating that bat path early. And a lot of times, you know, that's the biggest thing for a hitter, is to be able to stay in that bat path for as long as possible and be as quick as you can with those hands. He's done a nice job of that tonight.
Anthony Hennings trying to keep things going for North Carolina A&T. 50th pitch of the game for Aiden Hunter. Hunter came into the game in relief for the starter, Eli Jones. Got himself in a jam here in this top of the 7th. Check on the runner at first. Ball gets past. So the runner from third will score. North Carolina A&T now trails by 3 as Brantley moves down to second.
Yeah, and this is the last thing you want right now, especially for Aiden Hunter, who's working pretty hard throughout this inning, throwing a lot of more pitches than he wants to, just bounces this ball and completely throws it away. You don't want to give North Carolina A&T any opportunities to continue to stay around and hang in this game, because this is a team that has shown you some serious fight, especially last weekend against Pitt.
I mean, they almost took that series against Pitt. They split the first 2 games, and the third and deciding game went to extra innings. They would eventually lose to Pitt in 10 innings. All of a sudden, Aiden Hunter has lost his control on the mound. North Carolina A&T has put up 3 runs here in this 7th to trail by 3.
And I'm surprised, because Aiden Hunter is usually a little bit more of a swing and miss guy. We're going to go out there and talk to him, but this is not a pitcher. This is not the same Aiden Hunter that you normally see.
So that'll be it for Aiden Hunter. So far, we've seen 4 errors from South Carolina. That is a season high. And Hunter will be pulled. We're going to step aside for this pitching change. We'll be back after this. North Carolina T has put up 3 in this inning. They may not be done yet. Saturday, we got a great baseball doubleheader to cap it off your day. 19th ranked Auburn hosts number 4 Arkansas. It's the second game of their big 3-game series. That's followed by a game I will be calling LSU taking on Alabama. It's right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. So, new pitcher on the bump for South Carolina will be Parker Coyne, the righty, making his 14th appearance on the season with a 4.26 ERA.
And you can tell by the numbers, 18 strikeouts in 12 2/3 innings. He's going to have some nasty stuff, but he will sometimes be inconsistent. He's got 18 walks in those same 12 2/3 innings. So it'll be important for him to stay in the zone. He should get the swing and misses.
Now he will inherit a 2-1 count on the batter, Anthony Hennings. There is 1 out. Runner on at second is Cameron Brantley. Coyne getting set to deliver his first pitch. That one misses up, so it's 3-1 the count on Hennings. And this is the heart of the lineup for the Aggies right now. Off the end of the bat, Hennings to right center field. Catch is made. Runner tagging. Brantley going to third. No throw.
And that's an important tag because the Aggies are trying to scratch another run, at least in this top of the 7th. And if there's a pass ball, you can look at Brantley having an opportunity to score and bringing this game within 2.
Yeah, you can smile like that when you've had a day like you're having today, Cameron Brantley. 3 for 4, doing it on the base paths as well. Here's Xavier Bussey. So we have a pinch hitter. Camden Jackson is the pinch hitter at the plate. Good stop by Burgess behind the dish. North Carolina A&T had 4 hits coming into the 7th inning. They already have 3 hits in this inning alone, and they've plated 3 runs already, and a runner now at third with 2 outs. And Xavier, all of a sudden, this game got real interesting.
Yeah, and this should be an automatic take here. I want to try to get Parker Coyne back into the count or try to get him back into the zone before you even think about offering at a pitch.
3-0 fastball misses outside, so Camden Jackson, the pinch hitter, walks on 4 pitches. So Coyne, since coming out of the bullpen, has thrown 6 pitches, just 1 strike. That'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Brett Mersman, who's DHing today. 1 for 3, singled in the 4th.
Yeah,
Collins Burgess, he calls time. He's got to talk to his pitcher.
Yeah, smart to go out there, at least try to settle him down. If there's somebody that you want up right now, it's Brett Mersman. Slugging percentage at .641, leads the team. OPS over 1,000. This is a guy that when he hits the baseball, he gets a hold of it. It's driven somewhere. So talking about one swing changing the course of a game if he gets that opportunity.
Tying run at the plate for North Carolina A&T. Time is called. Not sure what home plate umpire Jeremy Crow is pointing to. Looks like maybe a player was running to the bullpen. Okay. So 1-0 the count on Mersman. Just underneath that one, lifts it to left field. Belk is there to end the threat. North Carolina A&T strands 2, but they pick up 3 runs, and they trail South Carolina by 3. Time to stretch. All of a sudden, we got a new ball game here. South Carolina's lead is cut to 3 as we move to the bottom of the 7th inning here in Columbia, South Carolina. John Tripp alongside my partner, Xavier Scruggs. And a new pitcher on the mound for North Carolina A&T will be Bryson Galloway. Only 2 1/3 innings of work on the season.
Yeah, this will be an opportunity for him to, continue to build those innings up, continue to show what he has and what he can offer. Inflated ERA, obviously, with only 2 1/3 inning pitch, but now it's time to get back to lowering that by throwing strikes and being able to use the defense.
So after Elijah Lambros was caught stealing to end the bottom of the 6th, Braylon Wimmer leads things off. slaps that one the other way, and it'll get down into right field. Wimmer continues to swing a hot stick. He is now 3 for 4 tonight, 3 singles.
Yeah, and Wimmer just continuing to be aggressive on pitches on the middle part of the zone. A lot of times that first pitch is going to be the best pitch to hit. Got to be ready to go, especially with a new guy coming in. Take advantage.
For Wimmer, all 3 of his hits tonight have come on 2 pitches or less. He is just ready to hit when he steps in there. Here's the freshman, Michael Braswell. Didn't pull the trigger there. Called strike, 1-1. Braswell, he was a big recruit coming out of Georgia. Had teams like Georgia, Vanderbilt, all the big schools after him, but he had been signed to South Carolina for the past 2-3 years. Came and visit, fell in love with the coaching staff, the facilities, and they think they've got something special in their future star shortstop. Time is called again at the plate. And it looked like there was going to be a balk. That's a balk called on Bryson Galloway. Slumped a little bit starting SEC play, but he's really starting to pick things back up. Had safely in his last 16 games. In his first 16 games. And then now he's picked it up in his last 4 games. What's that like as a freshman, right? Like, you come in here so highly touted, you've never really struggled in your career, and all of a sudden now you're facing SEC pitching. How do you make that adjustment?
Well, it's tough. It's like a wake-up call a lot of the times.
Fly ball, center field. Center fielder makes the catch. Ash, runner tags from second, and Wimmer will go into third.
Just touching on Braswell, it's tough as a freshman, especially, when you have so much success and then you start to hit little bumps in the road, but it ultimately challenges you to become a better player and more so mentally than physically. You've got to figure out, what are the things that I'm doing, or what do I need to do to get back to what I was doing earlier on in the season. And then that helps you make adjustments for the future as well. It helps you kind of shorten those adjustment periods. As a baseball player, especially as a hitter, you're trying to figure out, how can I make adjustments in the shortest amount of time so I can avoid those long stretches of slumps. And I think as a young player, that's what Braswell will continue to learn. And especially, we have to remember, he's in a tough league. He's in a tough league, a tough division here in the SEC. So it's tough to make those adjustments on the fly, but he's been doing it, and it's encouraging to see the progress he's made.
Mark Kingston had a good point. He was talking to us about Michael Braswell, and he was telling us that, other stops that he's been a head coach, he's had other young sensations come in and had struggled, and he's relayed those stories to Michael Braswell. He said when he was a coach at South Florida, which was his last stop, he had guys who came in there. Shane McClanahan, who was a South Florida player, didn't even really want to move into the dorm. He was so homesick, and it really helped him kind of get over that freshman slump. And look at an amazing major leaguer he has turned into.
Absolutely. He mentioned as well coaching Paul DeYoung, shortstop with the St. Louis Cardinals, helping guys not only develop as players on the field, but off the field. And I think those are the types of coaches, if I think back of which coaches really impacted me the most, it's those types of coaches that really help you guide through those steps of just normal everyday life as a collegiate player. And those are some great names that he's mentioned. Shane McClanahan, I think of how well he's done now, really becoming an ace in the American League division, for the Tampa Bay Rays. He's really established himself as one of the best starting pitchers in the American League now.
Coach Kingston said he had Paul DeYoung when he was at Illinois State, redshirted him, and he said he just turned into a big league player. He said it's not how you start, it's what you do with the opportunity once you get it. All-star with the Cardinals in 2019. That's great when you can just point to guys, success stories that can help your struggling freshmen.
Absolutely. And it's just, you know, a reminder of it's not where you start, right? It's how you continue to develop and better yourself and get yourself to where you want to be. Those are guys that weren't necessarily big name guys coming out of the collegiate ranks, but now you see where they're at and where they've gotten themselves to. A lot of credit to Coach Kingston and what he's been able to do and the impact he's had on those guys' careers.
0-2 the count on Colin Burgess. That one gets by the catcher. And coming in to score is Braylon Wimmer. South Carolina goes up by 4 again. They lead it 8-4 here in the bottom of the 7th.
And North Carolina A&T did such a great job in the top of the 7th, being able to scratch 3 runs. The last thing you want to do is give one of those back as you're fighting to stay in this game, especially with 2 outs.
Wimmer moved to second with a balk, tagged and went to third on the fly out to center, then comes in on a wild pitch. You know, just finishing up that story on Coach Kingston, he was saying he's had to make adjustments too, right? Like when he was at Illinois State, he didn't always get the best recruits. He had to really develop guys. Then he was at South Florida and he started getting better players, but they still weren't top Power 5 guys. He said now that he's at South Carolina, he's getting the best athletes he's ever been able to recruit, but you still have to recruit against the Tennessees of the world, the Vanderbilts of the world. So you never lose that development factor at any level of the game. Well hit out into left. Colin Burgess. Adios! A solo home run here in the 7th. As South Carolina takes a 5-run lead.
And Colin Burgess got a hold of that one. Just a pitch that hung up in the middle of the zone. Was sitting back, waiting for it. He did a nice job of just depositing this ball over the left field fence. You see it again up around the letters. He knew that ball was gone. Little bat drop to go with it. That's a huge blast out there to left field.
What a response by South Carolina after North Carolina A&T put up 3 in the top half of this inning. They come back to score 2 here in this bottom of the 7th. How about the 2 outs, 10 hits, 8 runs, rocking the Davy Crockett home run hat.
What a look.
I mean, when we had Noah Hall on early, he said it. I mean, he said there's some characters on this team, and we have fun. How important is that on a long baseball season to make sure you guys are having fun and enjoying things?
Yeah, just keeping it loose is, you know, half the battle, right? A lot of times this game can be so mundane, going through a lot of the same things every single day. This is a sport you play almost every day. So being able to keep it loose, keep it fresh, whatever you can do to keep guys laughing, having a good time, you got to do it.
Evan Stone, another hit with 2 outs. He's got his second hit of the day. And the order will turn over to top of the order. Brant Belk will come in with 2 outs, runner on at first. South Carolina has 14 hits today. 11 of them have come with 2 outs. And Ben Hall will make the slow walk to the mound. Says, give my ball back. We are making a pitching change. So with this pitching change, we will step aside, let the new guy do his thing, warm up. We'll be back. The 8th pitcher of the game for North Carolina A&T will be Michael Creighton, making his 18th appearance of the season, trying to get the 3rd out here in this bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, Michael Creighton just bringing in another look, right? Continuing to bring guys in, giving them an opportunity to get outs. 18th appearance, going to be important for him to just get this last out, get the guys back in the dugout so they can get the sticks going.
South Carolina has scored 2 runs here in this bottom of the 7th to push the lead back to 5. One of the few guys who doesn't have a hit tonight is Brant Belk, the leadoff hitter. 0 for 3, walked in the 2nd. First pitch in there from Creighton is a strike. X, in these midweek non-conference games, oftentimes you're seeing guys out of the bullpen you've never seen before. What's your approach at the plate with somebody like that?
Yeah, your approach at the plate is to try to stick to, getting something over the middle of the plate, not necessarily thinking about trying to hit a certain pitch. Oh, nice piece of hitting right there.
Belk goes the other way. Going first to third is Evan Stone, but a kind of an awkward swing for Brant Belk. Let's take another look at that. He came out of the box awkwardly.
Yeah, first of all, nice job of letting this ball get deep, staying on it, driving it the other way. And then it looks like maybe the ankle there kind of twisted in an awkward motion and he slipped.
So the trainer will come out and look at Brant Belk, and he's going to come out of this ball game. That is not what you want to see for South Carolina with all the injuries they've had this year. They cannot afford to lose their leadoff hitter.
Yeah, he's been somebody that's been so important at the top of the order, but just is extremely dynamic player, not just with the stick, but everything he does that he brings to the field.
So Matt Hogan will come on to pinch run for Brant Belk. Kevin Madden takes that first pitch in there for a strike. Runners on at first and third, 2 outs. It was a great job by Evan Stone to go first to third off that single that was right in front of him in left field. As you see, Hogan's the pinch runner at first. Breaking ball bends in there. 1-2 the count on Madden.
Yeah, and with Hogan having 5 stolen bases himself, 83% stolen base rate, I wouldn't be surprised to see him running here with 2 strikes.
Madden slaps that one to center. Ash is there. There's the 3rd out of the inning. South Carolina picks up 2 more runs. They lead it 9-4 after 7. The big shot, the home run by Colin Burgess.
You just get a pitch up in the zone and you deposit that thing into the left field seats. That's a blast.
Welcome back. We move to the top of the 8th inning. South Carolina leads 9-4. If you're just joining us, North Carolina A&T is trying to piece this one together with their bullpen. They've used 8 pitchers. They scored 3 runs in the top of the 7th, but South Carolina answered back. They just put up 2 runs of their own. The big one was the home run by Colin Burgess. A 5-run lead as we move here to the top of the 8th. New pitcher on the mound for South Carolina will be Cam Tringali, making his 9th appearance of the season, 1-0 with an ERA under 11. Chet Sykes will lead things off for the Aggies. 5, 6, 7 due up here in this top of the 8th. In the field for South Carolina, Hogan, who went into pinch run for Brant Belk, will stay in the game. He plays right, and Lambros will move over to left field. Good fastball from Cam Tringali. Heading the count 1-2. Five-run lead for the Gamecocks here in this 8th inning. Tringali, the 4th pitcher used by South Carolina. Missing low, count is now full. Three-two pitch, got him swinging. Here's my fastball. Can you hit it? Nope.
Tringali doing a nice job of making sure he's not giving away any freebies here. He's got 10 walks already on in the season, but does a nice job of 3-2, placing a perfect pitch on the outer half and blowing it by the Aggie hitter.
Well, if you're the coaching staff, I mean, that's what you want to see in this midweek game, right? Guys coming out of the bullpen, throwing strikes, going after hitters. Here's the catcher, Kenyon Brown. Brown, he's been really good behind the plate for the Aggies. He's thrown out 2 runners at second base trying to steal on him. Fastball on the corner, 1-1 the count.
Yeah, and with Tringali's down angle and his height, that's one thing. If he's able to spot that pitch right there, it's going to be tough for any hitters to put good barrel on that pitch.
Popped him up right side. Giving chase is Madden. Oh, gets out of play.
I don't think Madden knew exactly where he was right there on the field.
You can tell Madden's still feeling his way around on the right side of the infield. Used to playing third. They moved him over to right because of his elbow issues. Excuse me, over to first base. Learning on the job.
Definitely not an easy transition, that's for sure.
1-2 pitch. Got him looking. Cam Tringali, back-to-back strikeouts to start this 8th inning.
And I kind of talked about that down angle on his fastball. He does a nice job of getting some late life, even a little bit of late run to this pitch. Runs back in on the right-handed hitter. And when you can keep it down at the knees like that on the inner part of the plate, you're going to get a lot of guys frozen standing there looking like a statue.
This is TJ Ash. He takes that first pitch for a strike. I like Tringali's swag on the mound, too. Got a lot of movement, chewing on the bubble gum. Got a lather going, sweating. He's trying to strike out the side here.
Yeah, definitely has a good rhythm going right now. Definitely that reliever mentality as far as the movements that he's making.
0-2 pitch. Ooh, just off the inside corner. One ball, 2 strikes, the count on TJ Ash. When Tringali misses, it is not by much. Crowd at Founders Park wants the strikeout. The slow clap on the 2-2 pitch. Do it again.
Nice job of Ash fighting that one off. You can tell he's doing a good job of trying to let the ball get a little bit deeper just in case Tringali tries to come with something off speed, but he's mostly been going fastballs right at these hitters.
2 balls, 2 strikes, the count on Ash. Tringali deals. Low and inside, count is full. Payoff pitch. And he lost him. So TJ Ash will draw himself a 2-out walk here in the top of the 8th.
Yeah, credit TJ Ash for seeing a lot of pitches there, working a good at bat. Anytime you can get on base there, especially with 2 outs, continuing to give your team an opportunity, that's big. That's a nice AB right there.
Here's the 8-hole hitter, Alex Seaton. 1 for 3, had an RBI double in his last at bat in the 7th and would come around to score. I'm impressed with the fight in this North Carolina A&T team, right? South Carolina got up big early on, got in a huge hole. The Aggies have clawed back in this game.
Well, I think they've done a better job of trying to slow the game down a little bit. Their hitters have gotten some better pitches in the zone. And, you know, Coach Ben Hall mentioned that his team wasn't taking bad at-bats. It was just more about, you know, taking advantage with runners in scoring position and continue to get guys on base. And they've done that. They've continued to fight. You see them having some good at-bats here.
Cade Austin, right-hand pitcher, is starting to get warm in the bullpen for South Carolina. And Tringali, after giving up a 2-out walk, has fallen behind 3-1 to Alex Seaton. Ball 4. So after striking out the first 2 hitters, he's now giving up back-to-back walks.
Well, it just shows you how important that at-bat that Ash had. Those types of at-bats can change, you know, the outlook of an inning, give your team a chance to feel like they're still in the fight. So credit him.
For Cam Tringali on the mound, 6 of his last 7 pitches have been balls. The pitching coach is going to take a visit to the mound. And even though you got activity in the bullpen for the Gamecocks, you don't want to use any more relievers in a game like this with 2 outs, top of the 8th. Hey, you think we can get Noah Hall back on the mic? How much fun was it talking to him? He's got a great personality.
Could be a third man in the booth. He did an amazing job.
So bottom lineup, this is Saban Roan. It kind of felt like what we've been seeing on Sunday Night Baseball in the major leagues, where they're miking up a player on the field. Like Noah Hall, man, he really gave us some cool insight to the Gamecocks.
Yeah, I think that's the best part, is when guys can kind of give you the insight as to what's going on, and even in their own brains, right, and how they approach the game. Anytime you can kind of pick up a little tidbit here and there, and especially, you know, for players younger than them that look up to those types of players, they can get an idea as to how they should be thinking along the lines of a player.
0-2 count. Cam Tringali shaking off his catcher Burgess, and they'll call time. Tringali on the mound in this inning. He's got 2 strikeouts and 2 walks, trying to get out of this jam on runners on at first and second. Here's the pitch. Ayo! 3 strikeouts in the inning for Cam Tringali. He strands 2 runners on. South Carolina 9-4 lead. We move now to the bottom of the 8th. Take a look at the standings here in the SEC East. Tennessee is leading the way at 19-2. South Carolina finds themselves in the middle of the pack, 9-12. They got 3 huge wins on the last weekend, and they swept Alabama. Take a look at the upcoming schedule. They'll be at Texas A&M, then back home here against Kentucky May 13th weekend, and then they finish SEC play on the road at Florida. That's a big series coming up at Texas A&M. The Aggies are coming off a weekend where they took 2 of 3 from Kentucky. Josiah Seitler leads things off. Hard hit right side at the second baseman, Seaton. 1 down.
Yeah, you mentioning the Aggies series, the Texas A&M Aggies series that South Carolina will play there. It's always tough to go into that environment. That's another tough environment to go into and pull some wins away from, but that's going to be a huge test for them moving forward to kind of keep the momentum that they've had, especially today and going into SEC play.
Elijah Lambros came in as a pinch runner. This is his first at bat at the plate today. I mean, really, what environment in the SEC is not tough, right? Like, you name the stadium, and it is a tough place to play. And they're all so unique in their own way.
Yeah, I think that's what makes it a lot of fun for these guys. You know, anytime you kind of get an opportunity to play in front of some pretty cool crowds, whether they're on your side or on the other team's side, it's a lot of fun to be a part of those environments.
Ash makes the play, 2 down here in the bottom of the 8th.
Certain players feed off of those types of environments too. You know, the energy coming from the stands and the fans that are into the game. A lot of times you can feel that as a player, and you really want to add on to that, and you want to perform because of that.
Braylon Wimmer has put his stamp all over this game. He is 3 for 4, 3 singles, 2 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, and he scored his last time at the plate. Balk, sac fly, got to third, and a wild pitch. Nubber down to third. Roan, tough play. Got him. Nicely done by Sabin Roan over at third. A 1-2-3 8th inning. 7-pitch inning. South Carolina leads by 5. Saturday, you got a great baseball doubleheader to cap off your day. 19th ranked Auburn. They host number 4 Arkansas. It's the second game of their big 3-game series. That is followed by LSU taking on Alabama. It all goes down right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. New pitcher on the mound for South Carolina, trying to close the door on this game. Cade Austin will make his 22nd appearance of the season, sporting an ERA under 3.
Yeah, Cade has a really good arm. You can expect to see a lot of good velocity as well as late movement on his pitches. Does a nice job of filling up the zone as well.
Cameron Brantley will lead things off for North Carolina A&T down to their final 3 outs of the game. Big swing, fouls that pitch off. 0-2. Pitch. Got him swinging. Off-speed pitch was just filthy from Cade Austin.
Yeah, that's a 12-mile-an-hour difference from his normal around the 91, 92 range. When you talk about taking something off a pitch, that's what it is right there. But as well as good downward movement. If you see this again, that ball just fades down on the outer half of the plate. Devastating.
That is SEC pitching right there. Anthony Hennings came into the game as the team leader in batting average, but he has not gotten a hit tonight. 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. How about this pace by Cade Austin as well? He gets the ball, he's ready to fire it back.
That's exactly what you want. As a hitter, it makes you feel uncomfortable.
That one's well hit. Into the gap. It'll get down left center field all the way to the wall. Anthony Hennings, with his first hit of the ball game, has himself a 1-out double here in the top of the 9th.
Yeah, and Hennings is somebody that we highlighted early on in this one. We know he's got a good swing. Been battling through some at-bats today, but does a nice job of getting ahead in the count there. And just putting good barrel on the baseball line, driving it right back through the middle of the field. Puts himself in scoring position.
That is the 4th different North Carolina A&T hitter with an extra base hit tonight. Gonna bring up Camden Jackson. He was a pinch hitter in his last at bat in the 7th. He got a walk. Fastball in there, 92 at the knees. Ooh, that looks like a circle change that just dives away from the left-handed hitter.
Yeah, that's his go-to pitch right there. He'll throw it in any count. Does a nice job of getting great horizontal movement on that pitch. You can see it break across the plate. Starts the back hip of a lefty and fades off the plate.
So many young pitchers fall in love with breaking pitches early on, but if you've got a fastball and a good changeup, that is enough to get out a lot of hitters. Bounce that one in the dirt. That gets past Burgess. Hennings goes to 3rd.
Well, the changeup is definitely, if you have somebody that can throw it for strikes and does a nice job of commanding that pitch, it can be a tougher pitch for hitters to pick up. Remember, it's the same kind of rotation as a fastball, and a lot of times it almost has that stop kind of movement to where it just stops in midair as a hitter, and you're trying to slow your swing down or at least trying to reach out to go get the baseball. And anytime you can manipulate a hitter's swing, that's when you get a lot of swing and miss.
There it is again. Cade Austin, his 2nd strikeout. And North Carolina A&T down to their final out of the game.
Yeah, and really that pitch has split finger action on it, the way that thing's moving. Almost moving as much as his shoulders when he starts getting going a little bit.
So last hope for the Aggies is Brett Mersman. 1 for 4 tonight. Singled back in the 4th. Strike, low outside corner, 1-1. Austin with a runner at 3rd, working out of the full windup. Pulls the string on the changeup. He's got to have one of the best changeups I have seen in college today.
Yeah, it gets so many swing and misses, but it just has that great depth to it. A lot of times you won't see that in college.
Ooh! Cade Austin ends this ball game with a K. 3 strikeouts here in the 9th, and South Carolina has won it 9-4 over North Carolina A&T.
Yeah, just a really nice job of South Carolina being able to stick with the great offensive approach. 15 hits, a lot of them coming with guys in scoring position. And then from a relief pitching standpoint, as well as what Eli Jones was able to do, setting the tone, just an all-around great game for South Carolina.
SEC, watch out. South Carolina has now won 4 in a row. They just swept Alabama the weekend, and now they get a big win over North Carolina A&T. For my partner, Xavier Scruggs, I'm John Shriffen saying good night from Columbia, South Carolina. South Carolina wins it over North Carolina A&T.